Okay guys, so another day, another vending machine idea. So far we've done ATMs, gumball machines, and a whole bunch of other businesses. I have all that stuff in a playlist if you haven't seen it. But now we're talking about slot machines. Yes, I said slot machine, the gambling things that leads to destructions in families. One of you guys actually recommended this video to me and you were like, oh my gosh, Tommy, why don't you make a video about slot machines? I said, okay, I got you. But I didn't really see the message until a while ago, so that's why this video is a little bit late. But let's talk about slot machines, right? But before we even start the video, because you know, we're talking about how to actually create a business with slot machines. So we're going to talk about the startup costs, the expenses, and also the profits, and also the challenges. But before we even get there, actually, let's not even do that before. Let's just do it while we're actually talking about it so you actually can learn something. So let's get right into it, right? So when it comes to the startup cost of actually starting this business, it's going to cost you around between $200 to $600 to actually go ahead and buy a slot machine. It's not really that expensive. I think the most expensive one that I actually found was only like around $1,000. So that's not that expensive. And by the way, these machines make a ton of money. And then the second expense to actually start up the entire business is actually, guess what? Getting a license. And most likely, like almost like 99% of you cannot get a license for this stuff because it's probably not legal in your state unless you're like a casino or something like that, right? But there are a ton of people out there that they just literally take like for example, like slot machines, and they put it, guess what? Guess where? In convenience stores, in delis, corner stores, wherever, and then they have people come in every single day and they gamble away their earnings. But I'm not even gonna start talking about that yet. So startup cost is basically $1,000. Let's just say $1,000, and then maintenance and stuff like that. Just have like some like money on the side, and also having money on the side so when people actually win, you can actually pay them. So for example, I say the startup cost is between like $1,000 to $1,500, maybe. Oh, by the way, there's this place like you can go to vending machine auctions. I said auctions, like kind of like eBay, and you can literally buy like 4 slot machines for literally $500. So there's a lot of places you can actually go and buy these things for cheap. The idea is, do you actually want to do it? And I'm going to give you guys my opinion at the end of the video. Now, let's talk about the expenses, right? The expenses of this video. And by the way, one of the main things I do want to stress in this video is that I by no means condone you actually starting a slot machine business because it is illegal and you're kind of ruining lives. And you might say, Tommy, I'm not responsible for anybody's life and the choices they make. And you're kind of right. But you're kind of wrong because you're profiting from it and it's not really nice. So don't do it. But if you do, I'm actually telling you how to do it in a smart way. I'm biased, okay? But here's the thing, right? When it comes to expenses, there's only really 2 expenses, right? The expense of prison time and the risk you're actually going to take, because if you get caught with this stuff, you're going to go to prison, bro. It's not funny. It's not a joke. It's real prison time. And the other expense is actually the commission, because you're going to put this stuff probably in somebody else's convenience store and you're going to pay them like most likely like 65, 35. You're going to make 35. That person's going to make 65. You're probably telling me, Tommy, why would I pay him more when I'm the one that's bringing in the slot machine and I'm the one that's providing the money? The reason you're paying him more is because he's taking all the risks. Because if that guy gets caught with that stuff in his store, in his convenience store, in his bar, whatever he has, guess what? You're not gonna come out and be like, oh my gosh, yeah, I put it there. No, you're not gonna say that. You're gonna say like, oh, I had nothing to do with that. I literally told them that that's only for entertaining purposes. Because if you don't know this, right, you can literally put a slot machine anywhere, depending on the legal state, right? Because there's a bunch of states that don't accept it either way. And by the way, I have all this information in the description down below. But you can put it anywhere as long as you put a big bold sign saying only for entertainment purposes, and as long as you're not actually giving out money. And everyone that puts a slot machine, obviously, they might not do it to actually get money, because what dispenses is actually like fake coins. But when they go to that person, they can cash out and they can actually get the money. And that's where the illegal stuff actually comes in. Why is it illegal, Tommy? Because the government isn't getting any tax from it. And on top of that, it's not legal to actually do gambling like that on a wide scale. That's why they kind of like put it into places like casino where they can actually monitor everything. I guess that's my theory. Now, let's talk about the third thing, which is profits. Tommy, how much money can I actually make by doing this, right? Because if I'm taking so much risk, then this must be like a huge like uphold, right? There must be like this huge amount of money I can make, right? Well, let's not even talk about the profits. Let's talk about a story that I have to tell you guys, right? So there's this guy. His name is like some fancy guy. I don't want to even say his name here on the video because I don't want to like bring more light to him or kind of even put his business out there. But I have the link down there if you want to read the article. So this guy, he literally put around 70 to 100 machines in his entire block area, right? 100 to 70 machines. That's a lot. And I didn't think like that would make like that much money. But in reality, we have to understand something. This guy actually made, I used grammar wrong there. But this guy actually made $500,000 in literally less than 6 months. Now, I'm telling you this now, right? This guy said that's what he made, right? But we actually don't know because he got caught. Yes, he went to prison. I'm going to give you a little bit more details about that later. But he's saying he got $500,000, which I don't believe he got $500,000. I think he got even more. And the reason is because we're going to do the math like we do in every single video, because the math is very important. And you guys know I like to do the math, right? So let's take out our calculator, which is our phone, because we're fancy like that. Okay, so let's do the math. If this guy made 500,000, let's put down the brightness so you actually see. But if this guy made $500,000 in literally 6 months, we can divide that, right? Because let's take like what's 6 months, right? In days, 6 times 30, that gives us 180 days, right? If we take $500,000 and we divide it by 180 days, we're gonna get to know how much he actually made every single day, right? So we divide it by 180, and guess what? We got $2,777. Now, Tommy, what does this mean? It means that it's a lot of money. You're making $2,000 every day. That's a lot of money, right? And here's the thing. I think if you make like $3,333, that's $1 million. Like, you have to make $3,333 to make $1 million in a year. So this is pretty close. So let's take this number and we divide it by the amount of slot machines he actually had. He said he had 100. They caught him with like 100, maybe 70. Let's go like low. So he has 70 divided by 70. It means that each slot machine was making around $40 every single day. Now, here's why that math doesn't add up, right? By the way, if you're not getting it yet with the profits, this means that this machine, it makes a lot of money, right? So you don't have to even worry about the profits. You only really have to worry about going to prison and going to jail and getting locked up and losing everything you actually work for. And here's the thing, right? He's saying that he made $40 per machine every single day. I don't think that's true. And here's why, right? Say the average store gets around 150 customers every single day, and just like an ATM, like maybe 4% of the people that actually come in, they want to play this game, right? So let's do 150, and we times it by 0.04, and we get 6, right? 6 people come every single day and spend some money on these slot machines. Now, I did some research, and by the way, people that play slot machines, they're not always just there to have fun. Most of them are addicts. Like people that actually go that like to play like this, like for what's that word? For leisure, right? Go to Las Vegas and stuff like that. Like those people that go there and they waste like $150 to $250 every single day while they're there and they just go back home. That's different. That's not a real gambler. I'm talking about people that are just like addicted to it. If you put a gambling machine in a convenience store and someone is spending hours there, guess what? This guy is not one of those tourist people. This guy is someone that might have a problem, that might think that all his problems might be fixed by just like, you know, like just I don't even know how these machines work, like just pressing down and then the slot machine comes up and then by receiving money like that. He thinks that all his problems are going to be fixed by him winning some money magically with a machine that the odds are against him. So that's just, you know what I'm saying? The average person that has that addiction actually spends around like maybe $100 every single day. 150 maybe, right? But let's say, for example, Tommy, if you're talking about addicts, it means that they don't have that much money, right? But not really, because addicts, if somebody has money to gamble, most likely they're getting money from the government. So let's assume that they're spending like maybe $50 every single day on this gambling machine, right? Because they have a problem. And by the way, if you put one of these machines in any place, the way it's set up, it's like, so every time somebody loses, it looks like a near win. And I think I said this in one of my videos before, and the reason they actually do that it makes it look like a near win, is because in an addict's brain, it shows that near win as a win. In a normal person's brain, kind of like me, it shows a near win as a loss. I just lost my money. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not going to go back there and spend more money when I just lost. But for that person that's an addict, they might see it as a near win, which is a win also. They did like CAT scans and a whole bunch of scans on people's brains, and it actually showed that. So do some research on that also. So let's do the math, right? So the average person is spending $50 every single day. And I said like 150 people go inside the store every single day. We times it by 0.04 because maybe 4% of the people actually go every single day. We times it by $50. So let's say the average slot machine that he has in every store is making $300 every single day. And that's low. And let's say he has 70. We times it by 70, right? That's $21,000. And by the way, the reason I say that this person like most likely made, so let's do the math, right? Let's finish the math, right? We times that by 180. That's $3,780,000. I think he might have made like $1 million, like at least, like maybe $2 million. But with this math, it says $3 million, almost $4 million. And the reason I say this is because this guy was such a genius that he got caught by by not filing taxes whatsoever, because he was on paper, he was broke as hell, but he went to a store, like a dealership, and he bought a car, like I think it's a Audi R8 or something like that, and he paid cash for it, $210,000 in cash, and he didn't think that anything was gonna happen with that. And he also had like a bunch of other sports cars that cost like $100,000 and up. I don't know anything about cars, so I can't really vouch for it. And he also went ahead, and the reason he actually got caught was by selling narcotics to a cop. So this guy was doing a lot of things, and the way he evaded 20 year life sentence in jail plus $1 million fine was by actually like doing a deal and actually saying that he's guilty and actually offering up $378,000 that he had in the bank. By the way, how can someone that doesn't work, that doesn't file taxes, have that much money in the bank and the government not see it like going wrong or something like that? You know what I mean? It's kind of like, I don't get it, right? But he offered up this money plus all his cars, and he forfeited all his assets for only 2 years in prison, right? But if he only forfeited like around maybe $1 million in assets and cash, guys, he still had over $3 million in the bank. So you tell me, right? The average person, right? The average person makes $40,000 every single year. Let's say $50,000 every single year. So it's times that by 25. The average person takes like 25 years to make $1 million. But this guy did it in like 6 months to a year, and he made like $4 million, and it took $1 million from him. He still has $3 million. So do you think it's worth it to spend 2 years in jail, in prison, and not to have to work like 75 years of your lifetime to actually make $3 million? For me, I'd rather not do it. I'm not going to risk going to jail, but that's really what this video is about. It's just a theory on it. I'm not recommending this at all. If you want to do something like this and you're actually interested in starting a casino, then I recommend you go to a lawyer and you actually talk to him and try to like see the legality of how to do it in your state. And you will be needing a lot of money to actually put a casino in your state. They cost a ton of money, bro. And I'll see you guys next time. That's really all I have for this video. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. Comment and like and do all that fancy stuff, because every single comment gets the video 1,000 views. I think it's 1 million now. I'm not sure. I don't think we have 1 million yet, but that's because we don't have any comments. But I'm pretty sure if you subscribe and comment, we get 1 million views per video. Try it out in this video. I'll see you guys next time, and peace.
You've got to start at the bottom.